our later down assignment, we're going to be building something that can be 3D printed. Okay, so just some examples of stuff. This is like one of my first ones that I built. So what I want you to do is to start thinking of something that you would want to create and then 3D print. Okay, try to think of something that you can use, something in your daily life, something where it could just be something as simple as like a coat hook or a door stop or something silly like that. Okay, it can be super awesome. Obviously, like this, I literally use like every single day. Just slide my phone in it, hook up my cables, it's good to go. This is a website called PinShape. There's several other ones out there too. It's a good place to get ideas for what people have created with 3D printing. Okay, our printer prints one color, so you get this solid color here, or you get a solid color like this. You do not get to pick the color. It is whatever color is already loaded into the machine. The cartridges are very expensive, so if you take one out and that cartridge goes bad, because they can go bad, then that's wasted. So we have to make sure we go through an entire cartridge before we swap it out to a different one. Okay, we do have like green and red, I think, and some other colors. Okay, so for this kind of thing, let's see, gadgets. It's always cool stuff. So this one, he built this device that you can clip your phone to, or clip your whatever that is, Raspberry Pi to. That's kind of neat. This should allow us to spin around for as long as it's taking. Yes, it is. So these are all the different parts that would go into that to create this specific one. My goal whenever I make something is to try to make it as few parts as possible. It's not always the case. In order to build something fast, you have to sometimes build it separately. Okay, so here's all the parts that went into creating that thing. Now this will take obviously some thought process on your part and possibly some measuring, okay, if you want actually something to fit correctly. So on these things here, in order for this to fit nicely over my steering wheel, I had to know how round my steering wheel was so that it would fit nicely on there. For this here, in order for it to fit perfectly in my vent and latch onto it, I had to find out how far I wanted that to go in, because obviously too long it's not going to fit, too short it's not going to get past the little vent sliders. And then obviously my phone has to fit nicely inside here, which you can see it fits like perfect where it won't like jostle around. The first iteration of this, instead of these little latches on the side, it had a bar that went across. Initially I thought that was a better idea, and it wasn't because it kept breaking. This is much better because it literally can just slide in and out, where the bar was a little bit too loose. There is a resolution that we can't go less than. Okay, so if you're thinking you're gonna have something super thin, it's not always gonna work out, right? So try to think of bigger stuff. This one here, if you want to come up and look at these later, this thickness right there is probably as thin as you want to go on something, and that's also going to depend on what else is supporting it. If I were just to print this little thickness here in a straight line, it'd be super brittle and probably snap right in two pieces at least, okay? But because it's on the bigger part, it doesn't really matter too much. So look around, find some stuff that's, you know, interests you. That's pretty cool too, look at that. The best thing about this is literally you think of something, you build it, and then you can make it and actually have the item without getting dirty. 129 decibel whistle. That is sweet. These ones you can download. We are not downloading models that somebody else built and then printing it. We are making our own models and then printing it. I think it's cool too. There's so many cool things out there. There's another phone holder. This one actually mounts to something, so that's pretty cool. Oh, look at that. A Braille business card writer. And this one's using other materials. There's like metal in there, obviously, too. Yeah, so look around here. Try to find something simple. Obviously, your first one should be simple. We don't want to go like this exoskeleton hand here. That would be a bit more complex than we want to go. But just something simple. Use easily your keyboard. Come on. Yeah. There are 3 ways to put this object on your hand. There, there, and there. You can easily press on every switch. So I'm guessing if you have maybe chubbier fingers, that might be an issue. I don't know. Still kind of need that, right? These are stuff that people have done before, and that's always the best place to start, is to look at what other people have done, see what you like, what you don't like, what's working, what's not working, stuff to consider. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Like this one is neat because it's slow. There we go. Oh, that's perfect, right? Because it's several pieces, and you could actually take the pieces and put them together, put something inside it, close it up. That's kind of neat how that's set up. I just saw another one. Yeah, this is the one that opens up. So very similar. There's like magnets on there, and that's what's like holding the whole thing closed. What they did is they drilled a tiny hole into these areas and put these tiny, what are they called? Neodymium magnets in there, like super tiny. And they just lined it up on there and did the same thing, and it just like snaps into place. And what's cool about it is that you can put it, because of how the magnets were set up, you can go like this so it lines up perfectly, or you could have it like another direction and it looks even cooler, right? It's still like drying, it's wet. Okay, 3D print. This thing is cool too. This little guy holding up a tablet. Again, stuff you have to think about is it's not simply a matter of just modeling the guy holding this thing up, but it's also about like the angle you want the tablet to be at. What is on the other side of that? There obviously has to be some sort of lip so that the tablet doesn't slide, so it actually like fits in and rests against it. Okay. So I want you to start thinking about this now, so that when we get to this assignment, you have something ready to go. And I want you to start drawing out what you are going to be building, okay? If it's something that needs measurements, obviously measure the stuff. We can't go crazy big. Each item that we print, we have about a 4 to 5 hour print time, okay? So if your item takes more than 4 to 5 hours, it's not going to be able to be printed, okay? Just because of how many people we have in here, it would literally take until the end of the semester to get the stuff printed out. You can do things like moving parts. This is the cool thing about 3D printing. So this item in the middle, which is like a ball bearing, is basically a cylinder, another cylinder, and then balls around it. That's printed just like that, and it would spin. It would actually like move around, which is really cool. At one point, I built a cell phone holder. It didn't really hold up very good, but it was like, it had a little slider on it, so you could like rest your phone and put it there, but it was too small to actually be practical for my cell phone because it just kept falling over. And some stuff, I mean, we're not going to print this, but I thought this was really cool. Not a banjo, what's it called? Ukulele. They actually have like, you can download the the model for this, and then you could actually print it on your home 3D printer. I think it took like 3 days or something to print every part. And then they latch together, and then you just have to buy the strings and buy the, whatever those are called, pins. It's pretty awesome, okay? You could also print yours, so if you do find something that you do print that you like, and you actually want to change the color besides the ugly ivory color that they give you, paint, 3D. So this guy here was a model that was 3D printed, and then they painted it using like model paint. Same thing there. This is what the thread looks like, or what the plastic looks like, and then when it prints it, it looks like that. There's more stuff that's painted, more stuff that's painted. Okay, so if you do find you have something that you want painted, obviously you can paint that as well. It all depends on how detailed you want to get with it.